God bless. God bless you. What's happening? What it is, what it look like. So get on down. I just want to thank you so much for coming out tonight. I tell you nothing but the truth. You are looking out of sight. Hey, I'm Coach Bill William. Look, just call me whatever you want. I just love to be called disciple of Christ, servant of Christ, right? Like Apostle Paul said. Welcome. What's good? What's going on? Thanks for hanging in there, joining us. We're just doing a little reading on the book of Joshua. My pastor's been teaching a series out of Joshua, and I was like, whoa, man, I really feel this guy, man. It's been a long time since I read Joshua, and I wasn't sure if we read chapter by chapter, verse by verse previously, but some of us now with the Street Side Prayer Team, Sister Felicia, Sister Dina, Brother Jordan, we doing a little reading. We're going to get it done. It's fun when you read as a team. It really is. We sit and chop it up after every five chapters and have a chop up session and talk about what did we get from that, right, as individuals. So without further ado, a little bit of ado. So what do you want to do with this clip? Again, thank you for joining in. Some of us sometimes we struggle with reading. I understand. I've been there. Right, I understand. Sometimes, man, seem like the words start dancing on the page, hieroglyphics. You gotta reread them 2 and 3 times. Don't remember what you read. Blah, fall asleep. Been there, done that. I'm that guy. So look, I'm not throwing those stones. But yeah, just want to welcome you, man. Thank you. Next thing you do is pray to God. God, well, why did I hear this? Or what do you want me to have? Right? Reveal to me what you want me to know from your word. And third thing you can do is be on Great Commission. What does that mean? Simply take this link and share it all over your social media. There's people around you that's starving, that's hungry, that's destitute. And only God's word is going to do the feeding and healing. So now, without further ado, chapter 9, we're going to read out of this complete Jewish Bible, the English version of the Tanakh, they call it. And Joshua's name is Yahshua. Remember, there's no letter J in the Hebrew or Jewish alphabet. Never was, never, don't pit ever will be. So chapter 9, verse 1, when all the kings of the west side of the Yarden I believe is Jordan, in the hills. So, all right, let's try it again. When all of the kings on the west side of the Yarden in the hills, oh man, the back is a little achy here. In the Shephelah and all along the shore of the great sea that fronts the Lebanon. What is the Lebanon? I knew what that was, but I forgot. The Hittite, Emori, Kinani, Prezi, Hivi, Yavusi heard what had happened. They joined forces together to fight against Yahshua and Israel. But when the inhabitants of Gibeah heard what Yahshua had done to Jericho and Ai, they developed a clever deception. They made themselves look as if it had been a long journey by putting old sacks on their donkeys and taking used wineskins that had burst and been mended back together. They put old patched sandals on their feet and dressed in worn out clothes and took as provisions nothing but dried up bread that was crumbling to pieces. All right, so they're putting a decoy together right now. It's old battle war tactic, man. You want to set up decoys. I guess they're doing this to make the Israelites think that they weak and soft and battered and beat up and can't rumble. Verse 6. Then they went to Yahshua in the camp of Gilgal and said to him and the men of Israel, "We have come from a country far away. Now make a covenant with us." The men of Israel said to Hivi, "How do we know that you don't live here?" answered Yahshua. Yahshua. We are your servants, Yahshua asked. We are your servants. Yahshua asked, who are you? Where do you come from? They answered him, your servants have come from a very distant country because of the reputation of Adonai, your God. We have heard reports about him, everything he did in Egypt, and everything he did to the two kings of the Emori across the Jordan, Sikon, king of Heshbon, and Og, king of Bashan, at Ashtaroth. So our leaders and all the people living in our country said to us, take provisions with you for the journey. Go to meet them and say to them, we are your servants, and now make a covenant with us. Here's the bread we took for our provisions. It is still warm when we took it out of our homes the day we left to come to you. Now look at it. It's dry and turned to crumb. And these wineskins were new when we filled them. But look, now they're torn. Likewise, these clothes of ours and our shoes are worn because of the very long journey. So they not only setting up a decoy, they are lying. So they're gonna lie as well, huh? That's your plan? See how that goes. Verse 14, the men sampled some of their food, but didn't seek the advice of Adonai. The men sampled some of their food, but didn't seek the advice of Adonai. What does that tell you right there? Constantly be praying for direction and guidance. Verse 15, so Yahshua made peace with them and made a covenant with them to spare their lives, and the leading officials of the community swore to them. But 3 days later, after they had made the covenant with them, they heard that they were their neighbors, that they lived there with them. The people of Israel traveled and arrived at their cities on the third day. Their cities were Givon, Kephirah, Beerat, Kiryat Yearim. The people of Israel did not attack them because the leading officials of the community had sworn to them, but Adonai, God of Israel, by Adonai, God of Israel. But all the community grumbled against the leaders. However, the leaders replied to the whole community, we have sworn to them by Adonai, God of Israel, so we can't touch them. Here is what we would do to them. We will let them live so that God's anger will not be upon us because of the oath we swore to them. Yes, let them live, the leaders continued, but let them chop wood and draw water for the whole community. This is what the leaders said. Remember that folks rolled up and they said they were going to be basically their slaves, their servants. So now he just saying, all right, we're going to make them our servants. Everybody like, yeah, all right, let's make them our servants. Verse 22, Yahshua summoned them and said this to them. Why have you deceived us by saying we have come from a place very far away, when in fact you're living right here with us now? You have a curse on you. You will be slaves forever, supplying people to chop wood and draw water for the house of my God. They answered Yahshua, it is because we heard the reports that Adonai, your God, had ordered his servant Moshe to give you all the land and to destroy all inhabitants of the land from ahead of you. So we were terrified for our lives on account of you. That's why we did this. Now, as you see, we are in your hands. Do to us whatever seems good and right to you. So Yahshua did exactly that. He saved them from the power of the people of Israel so they didn't kill them. But he did that same day make them choppers of wood and drawers of water for the community and for the altar of Adonai in the place which he would choose. And they remain so to this day. Interesting. Is that more on grafting non-Jews, non-Hebrews being admitted into God's kingdom, being admitted with God's chosen people. Is this another example? All right, I'm having fun with Joshua. He's a fighting man. He's going into territories, conquering territories, so his people can take over. When I go on the street side prayer and pray and intercede in the heavenlies, me and my team, Deanna, Felicia, Jordan, Debbie, and some others. Look, we're interceding in the heavenlies, breaking that, just trying to break down the walls to some of the people, the locals, the natives who are under the grip and spell and authority of these demonic principalities can be released. So, all right, bless you. I'm gone. Bendiga, Baruch, Shalom, peace.